The Light is a secret organisation composed of 7 extremely powerful supervillains. The group was founded between the years 2006 and 2007, shortly after the Justice League was announced as a team of heroes. The Light members believe that the Justice League helping people is stopping humanity from evolving, as problems such as crime and violence help people to evolve as the strong keep on living and the weak die. As such, the Light's members exist to counter the Justice League, and creating danger and chaos to help humanity reach its glorious evolution and rightful place in the centre of the cosmos. And no doubt they intend to be the ones ruling the planet when this happens. They achieve this aim by creating and co-opting networks so that they control, or at least have influence, over as much of humanity as they can. Now this video is going to go over the Light's members and provide a brief bio for each of them. And I have to say that there are many different versions of the characters, but this video is based exclusively on the DC animated TV series Young Justice and the comic book tie-in series. The League was founded by Vandal Savage, who has the Light alias L1. Vandal Savage is an immortal who is over 50,000 years old, though biologically he is only 44 years old. He was originally mortal and a primitive human. One night a meteor storm occurred near where he was living, and one of the meteorites landed near him. He decided to sleep near the meteorite because the night was cold and the radiation the meteorite was giving off was warm. This radiation changed him. It evolved him slightly as a human, making him more intelligent than the rest of the primitive humans. It also made him immortal. He does not age and heals from any wound almost instantaneously. He does have 3 scars across his face. These are from when he was mortal. He received the wounds after being mauled by a cave bear. This was before he became immortal, as any wounds after he became immortal heal without leaving scars. Throughout history, Vandal Savage has had many personas and aliases, some of which are very famous, such as Genghis Khan, Attila the Hun, and Blackbeard the Pirate. After a roughly normal lifespan as these individuals, he would disappear from history for a few decades in order to remain anonymous, as he didn't want someone figuring out that he was immortal. Shortly after the Justice League announced their existence to the world, Vandal Savage said, in a casual conversation with Ra's al Ghul, that he thought the League went against his ideals for humanity.
50,000 years of life, and nothing ever troubled me as much as the founding of the Justice League.
And shortly after this, Savage formed the Light and extended invitations to certain individuals. The first invitation was to Ra's al Ghul. Ra's al Ghul is the second member of the Light, and his Light alias is L2. He is 600 to 700 years old and has lived this long by bathing in the Lazarus Pit. The Lazarus Pit is able to heal any injury and even bring the dead back to life, and keep a person young for a considerable amount of time. No one knows exactly how long it will keep you young for, but as I said, Ra's al Ghul has been doing this for 600 to 700 years, though biologically his body is only 41 years old. Ra's was born in the Arabian desert and founded the League of Shadows during his long life, though the exact date he did this is unknown. He has been the head of this organisation since creating it. The League of Shadows is a criminal and terrorist organisation that specialises in extortion, manipulation, power brokering, and assassination. As part of their training, all members of the League of Shadows are programmed with fail-safe commands that allow Ra's al Ghul to exert full control over them, even going so far that Ra's can order them to sleep and they immediately fall asleep, even when they're actively fighting him and trying not to. Ra's al Ghul is aware of Batman's secret identity, though it has not been made clear whether he has shared this information with the rest of the Light, though it is unlikely as he has kept this secret in the past. Since he found out who Batman really is, he has wanted Bruce Wayne to marry his daughter, Talia al Ghul, and take his place as the head of the League of Shadows. Though Batman has refused this offer on several occasions, it has not deterred Ra's from wanting him to replace him, and he no doubt still believes Batman will come around to his way of thinking. During a fight between the Reach, the Light and the team, Ra's al Ghul was killed by Black Beetle.
Master!
However, this isn't the first time he has died, and his shadows will place his body in the Lazarus Pit and resurrect him once again.
Ubu will keep you safe. The Master will be resurrected!
The third member of the Light is Lex Luthor. His alias is L3. Lex Luthor is a billionaire and owns and runs his own company called LexCorp. He has a genius-level intellect, and at the end of Season 2 of Young Justice, he was 51 years old. To the public, he appears as a kind and soft-spoken man with good intentions.
Tensions are running high and troops are massing on the border between the two countries. Right now, Lex Luthor seems to be the best or only hope for peace.
But behind the scenes, all he cares about is making money, and he doesn't care how he goes about making this money, and frequently uses illegal and immoral means to achieve his own ends, which has often set him against the superhero community.
You may have everyone here fooled, Luthor, but I know what you are. Oh, I don't pretend to be an angel. It just so happens that this time, I'm on the side of the angels.
Though his main archenemy is Superman, who lives in and protects Metropolis, the same city Lex Luthor lives in and where his company is based. Lex Luthor also founded Cadmus, a company which specialised in illegal cloning. He was the first chairman of the company and initiated the cloning of Superman with Project Match. After cloning pure Kryptonian DNA was discovered to be too difficult and unstable, he provided his own DNA to merge with Superman's Kryptonian DNA, which created Superboy. After the clone match proved too unstable to control, Luthor made sure that Superboy had a built-in failsafe and arranged for a psychic suggestion to be placed in Superboy's mind, so that when Lex Luthor said "Red Sun," Superboy froze in place for hours on end with no memory of what occurred while he was frozen.
2 words and he shut me down. What else can he make me do?
Luthor considers Superboy to be his son and wants him to join the villain's side. Superboy did once pretend to turn to Lex Luthor's side, but was secretly loyal to the team. Unfortunately, Luthor saw through this and was going to have Superboy fixed by his psychics, which ended the subterfuge and forced the team to intervene. Though it was revealed that Luthor had had no time to implement any other psychic suggestions in Superboy's mind, and Miss Martian has since wiped the Red Sun command from Superboy's mind.
All true. Personally, I blame Dr. Desmond.
After the team had publicly discredited the Reach and caused them to leave the planet, the Reach set off a failsafe which would destroy the Earth. Lex Luthor contacted the Justice League and provided them with software to deactivate the Doomsday devices.
As I believe you know, the Light always planned to betray the Reach. LexCorp has developed anti-Reach software, a virus that should disable their magnetic field disruptors.
And because of this, he was recommended by G. Gordon Godfrey to be the best person to become UN Secretary General.
You have got to be kidding me.
It's not been revealed whether Luthor was offered the job, but he most likely was and most likely took it. But we'll see what his role is in Season 3. The fourth member of the Light is Queen Bee, whose alias is L4, and so far her full name is not known. Queen Bee claims to be the constitutional monarch of Bialia, and though she does have some legitimacy to the throne, it is also partly propaganda. And although Bialia appears to be a constitutional monarchy to the world, in truth it is more of a dictatorship, and Queen Bee rules it with an iron fist. At the end of Season 2 of Young Justice, she was 33 years of age, and she has the power to enthrall men along with some women using pheromone control. Though this is based on her quarry's sexual attraction towards women, meaning if a woman is completely straight, she wouldn't be able to control them, but if the woman was bisexual, she most likely would be able to control them, as is shown when Queen Bee controls Beast Boy's mother. She does seem to control all the men in the instances we see, but if a man was 100% gay with no attraction to women, then she probably would not be able to control the man in question. Though we do not see any instances of this in the show, and we're unlikely to see any in the future, as guidelines of what content children's shows are allowed to have are rather strict. Though we may see a scene of this nature if they relaunch the tie-in comics, as they are much more lax in what content they're allowed to show. She rarely appears to use her powers, instead preferring to get other psychics, such as Simon, to do her dirty work for her.
What do you mean the president won't see me? He invited me!
Not of my free will! No! But now that I am free of your minion's thrall, the Karaki people will never suffer your tyrannical rule!
And it is her ruthlessness more than her powers that make her dangerous. She once gave commands for an 8-year-old boy to commit suicide if any harm came to her, to stop Miss Martian from taking her into custody, so Queen Bee has little to no morals. After the team had stopped her plan to take over Korak, she killed Beast Boy's mother as an act of revenge. Afterwards, she enthralled the president's brother Suman, and then manipulated events to make him president, so that he would rule Korak publicly, but secretly Queen Bee was in charge of the nation. And later she removed other key figures in Korak's government and replaced them with Krolataean body duplicates, so that she could use them all as puppets to rule Korak. It is unknown whether she still has these individuals as puppets, or if they have been released from her control since the Krolataeans did leave the planet, but hopefully we'll find out in Season 3. She also allowed the heroes to use a hidden temple in her country to cleanse Blue Beetle after his mind had been taken over by the Reach's scarab. This returned Blue Beetle's free will. And though Queen Bee was a partner of the Reach, she allowed this to happen to hinder the Reach's later plans and to advance her and the Light's future plans.
Now the Light's plans for the Reach, the League, and the team may proceed on schedule.
The fifth member of the Light, alias L5, is Ocean Master. His secret identity is Prince Orm, and he is the brother of the King of Atlantis, Aquaman. He is an Atlantean and is 26 years old in Season 1 of Young Justice, but it is unknown if he is still alive in Season 2, but if he is still alive he would of course be 31 years old, Ocean Master has the normal Atlantean powers, meaning he can breathe underwater and his skin and muscles are denser than a human, making his skin nearly bulletproof and giving him super strength when compared to humans.
Always kind of wondered about that.
He also possesses Neptune's trident, which can siphon an Atlantean's life force as well as their magical power, and then project this magic outwards. Though Prince Orm is a proficient magic user on his own, and being an Atlantean means he is resistant to low temperatures and the effects of freezing, though he is vulnerable to high temperatures.
My physiology and organs are susceptible to extreme heat.
Prince Orm nursed a grudge against his brother and decided that if his brother was going to play Aquaman, then he would play a part as well and become the supervillain Ocean Master. He led an army to attack Poseidonis and defeated Aquaman in battle, but was stopped from finishing Aquaman off by two students of the Conservatory of Sorcery. One of these students was Calderon, who would later become Aqualad because of saving Aquaman, so Ocean Master inadvertently created one of his greatest adversaries. He also manipulated the Purists group of Atlanteans, who thought that any Atlantean who didn't look human was lesser, meaning anyone who resembled a fish in appearance was a lower being. Basically, the Purists are the racists of Atlantis. Ocean Master didn't care about the Purists' goals, he was just using them to take over Atlantis, and through them he was able to kidnap Queen Myrrah and her unborn child. He had planned to kill them, but the Purist leader discovered he didn't care about their plans for race purification and turned on him, thus helping the heroes to defeat Ocean Master. Exactly what happened to Ocean Master between Season 1 and Season 2 is unknown. All we know is that he is disgraced at one point during this gap, and not a member of the Light in Season 2.
All agree we made the right choice asking you to replace poor, disgraced Ocean Master.
But we don't even know if he is still alive or dead, though hopefully we will find out in Season 3 of Young Justice. The sixth member of the Light is the Brain, alias L6, and at the end of Season 2 he was 61 years old. He has no body but is instead just a brain in a jar, though it is a jar that allows him to talk, move, has mechanical appendages, and is heavily armed with guns. He speaks in a thick French accent and frequently uses French words because he hates to speak in English.
Oui, mon ami. Your distraction, though peut-être extrême, was très effective.
The Brain didn't start out as just a brain but had a full body. However, he disliked being in flesh and decided he wanted his brain to be removed from his body so that he would be completely cut off from the distractions of the flesh and just be a brain, making him pure intellect. He, along with an old woman, was responsible for creating Young Justice Universe's Gorilla City, along with the gorillas Solavar, Monsieur Mala, Gorilla Grodd, and others. They experimented on these gorillas to make them the way they are, giving them enhanced intellect and physical size and strength, and also telepathy. Though so far Monsieur Mala doesn't appear to have telepathy, and unlike the other gorillas, he was a faithful and loyal servant of the Brain after the experiments, whereas the others hated him and turned on him with the help of the team. The old woman who was with him and helped him with these experiments had her brain removed as well and placed into the body of one of the gorillas and became the Ultra Humanite, who was a member of the Injustice League.
Admit it. You can't turn away.
The Ultra Humanite, along with the Brain, ruled Gorilla City. That was until the team, trying to track down the Brain, arrived and helped to liberate the gorillas, and the gorillas now live in and control Gorilla City themselves. Brain was also one of the 3 people, or in Clarion's case beings, who helped to create the Starotech that allowed the Light to take over the members of the Justice League. At the end of Season 2 of Young Justice, he was taken into custody, along with Monsieur Mala, after the fight with the Reach, the Light and the team, and as far as we know is still behind bars, but we'll have to wait for Season 3 to find out for sure. The 7th member of the Light is Klarion, alias L7. Klarion is a Lord of Chaos, meaning he is Chaos incarnate and has extremely powerful magic at his command, and is seemingly ageless and immortal. He is not human, but an extra-dimensional being, which pretty much means he's a demon. He can only be in our dimension with the use of an anchor, which in this case is his familiar Tikal, and if the cat dies, he loses his anchor and presumably be banished from this dimension and go back to his home dimension. Though technically it is not a cat, but merely takes the form of a cat.
We both know that creature is no cat, witch boy. And without your familiar, you have no anchor in this reality.
His only real reason for joining the Light was to cause chaos, and because he thought it would be fun. And he has no real desire to see humanity evolve further or not. He only wants to create disorder and become more powerful. Because he is chaos personified, he can't be contained or killed. The best a hero can do is foil his plans. Though Clarion's only real competition is his arch-nemesis Dr. Fate. Dr. Fate is a similar extra-dimensional entity, except that instead of being a Lord of Chaos, he is a Lord of Order. And unlike Klarion, Dr. Fate needs to possess someone in order to exist in this dimension. And Dr. Fate's dimensional anchor is a helmet, which, when worn, allows the Lord of Order to take over the wearer's mind. Dr. Fate had been missing from the world for several decades, and Klarion decided to capture the Helmet of Fate for himself in order to become more powerful, as well as stop someone else from wearing it and becoming his enemy. Ironically, if he hadn't done this, no one would have ended up getting the helmet anytime soon, but because of his intervention, he put in place the circumstances that led to a new Dr. Fate being created.
Witness the havoc wrought in these hours. The world needs Dr. Fate.
While creating a distraction for the light, Klarion, along with 4 other sorcerers, created 2 dimensions for the planet Earth, one which contained only children, and one which contained only adults.
We know you must be scared and angry. We know with your parents missing there's a temptation to run wild, but please, stay calm.
In this case, being over the age of 18 made a person an adult.
Almost there. Should arrive just after midnight on my birthday.
Wait, are you telling me you turned 18 at midnight?
I'll take that as a yes.
The only way the situation could be contained was to use the Helmet of Fate, which led to the new Dr. Fate being created. Though this didn't stop Klarion from taking over the mind of Dr. Fate, as well as the rest of the Justice League at the end of Season 1. This was done when Klarion, along with the brain of Professor Ivo, created the mind-controlling Starro tech, which allowed the Light to take control of the Justice League. After the team had liberated the Justice League from Klarion and the Light's control, Klarion wanted to continue the fight. However, Vandal, Savage and his familiar were able to convince him that if he did this, he would lose control and kill them all.
I wouldn't lose control. Okay, yeah, I bring the chaos.
Klarion is still at large at the end of Season 2 of Young Justice, and as I've said, cannot be contained anyway. The best anyone could hope to do is banish him from this dimension by destroying his familiar, Tikal, though this is not an easy task to accomplish.
Show him what the familiar to a Lord of Chaos can do, Tikal.
The final member of the Light is Black Manta, who has no Light alias, and at the end of the second season of Young Justice was 42 years old. Black Manta was an operative of Ocean Master during Season 1, but after Ocean Master's disgrace and subsequent removal from the Light, Black Manta took his place. He did this by helping the Light with their plan to collect pieces of a mystical tablet in the game Young Justice Legacy.
The fragments. The statue. What do you want with it?
For me, they are stepping stones into the light.
His part in this was relatively small and mainly took the form of providing security for a LexCorp mining operation in Santa Prisca that was mining for one of the tablet fragments.
I'll run interference, Luthor!
And your efforts are appreciated, my friend.
After he successfully saved Lex Luthor from the heroes, Black Manta was welcomed into the Light.
You are officially one with the light.
Black Manta is the biological father of the hero Aqualad, though he didn't raise him. Aqualad was raised by Calvin Durham, who was once a henchman of Black Manta. Black Manta had been attempting to infiltrate Atlantis by biologically changing his henchmen so they could breathe underwater. Calvin Durham was one of these mutated henchmen, and after Black Manta failed to take over Atlantis, Durham married Aqualad's mother and raised Aqualad as his own son. Aqualad wasn't aware of this until he was already an adult.
Why don't you tell him, Sea King? Tell him what you kept from him all these years.
And when he did learn the truth, he joined his father and became an operative of Black Manta's organisation, and quickly rose through the ranks, though it was later revealed that this was all a ruse, and Aqualad had just pretended to join Black Manta in order to infiltrate the Light.
I've proven my loyalty to my biological father. He is moving me up the ladder, bringing me closer to the light.
Black Manta couldn't believe his son would do this to him, and they came to blows over it, with Aqualad winning the fight and his father being taken into custody. And that is the bios of the members of the Light. Do you agree with everything I said, or do you think I've missed out something important? Be sure to let us know in the comments, and as always, thanks for watching, and feel free to subscribe, share, like, and comment.
Shadows still conceal our